Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jesse, and today I'm going to be judging books based off their first line and picking out my next read by the line that strikes me the most. This is not a new concept. People have been doing this for years. I am just tardy for the party. I'm late to the trend. I'm always late to the trend, but hi, hello, I'm here. I'm here. It do be like that. Jesse the reader, more like Jesse the later. That did not work in the way that I wanted it to. I was trying to make fetch happen, and fetch did not happen. I first saw Ariel Bissett do this, I believe, and then I've since seen Jack Edwards do this as well. Shout out to those creators. I love a good solid opening line, but I also feel like it's not like a make it or break it moment for me. I feel like when I first started out reading, opening lines were very important for me. I needed them to like come in and just like take my breath away. Take my breath away. Okay, I'm sorry. I think when I first got into reading, they were much more significant to me than they are now. I do think that first lines can be incredibly important in catching a reader's attention, but an opening line is not going to determine if I will or will not read a book. And like, don't get me wrong, when an opening line is good, it's good. Wow, I'm so great with my words. Like, there have been times when I have read an opening line and it's just like so stunning and I know that I'm in for a solid ride. But then there have been times when I've read the opening line and the opening line is better than the book itself. So that's why I feel like you can't necessarily judge a book by its opening line. I picked out 10 books off my bookshelf that I will solely be judging based off their opening lines. I'm not going to be going off the description at all or the genre or anything like that. I'm going to be solely going off the first line, though I do remember like a lot of these books' genres, and I do remember what quite a few of these are about, though there are a few that I'm like completely in the dark about. So it'll for sure be interesting going through these. As I go through them, I will be ranking them from worst to best, and the book that has the best opening line will be my next read. Let's get started. We're starting with a book by an author that I've read before, and the book in question is An Arrow to the Moon. This author wrote The Astonishing Color of After, and when I tell you that book has my heart, it has my heart. In fact, it took my heart, destroyed my heart, taped it back together, and handed it back over. Will this book be chosen and break my heart once again? Let's read the opening line and see how I feel about it. Once upon a time, there was a girl who lived on the moon as its guardian. Now that kind of has me. It's just enough for me to be like, hello, curiosity. I would like to stop, drop, and read you immediately. I know this probably has nothing to do with Sailor Moon, like absolutely nothing to do with Sailor Moon, but I can't help but be like, Sailor Moon! Hello, Sailor Moon! I will say it feels like it's giving a little sci-fi, and maybe it's only giving sci-fi because moon. Space, moon, moon, space. Put them together in my mind and sci-fi was birthed into the world. Sometimes I worry about myself. To be honest, I don't remember the genre. I thought it was like a fantasy moment, but like just that opening line has me thinking sci-fi, which is interesting. I don't know how I feel about that as a whole because I feel like sci-fi is a genre that I just had a hard time tackling, but like if it is a sci-fi book, then like maybe it'll be the book that will bring me to the sci-fi world, that will bring me into that genre. So if it does fall under that umbrella, rain on me. Bring on the sci-fi-ness. I'm out here making a fuss and it's probably not even a sci-fi book. Because it has no competition, it is currently in first place. Let's see if it stays there. Next up here, we've got 4321. I've read a few books by this author in the past and I've been wanting to read more of their work. They have had one miss with me, but they've also had 2 hits for me, so I'm interested to see where this one might land. Let's see what the opening line is. It's a bus. That's literally the opening line. It's a bus. Well, there's not much to go off of here. I mean, I am intrigued. It does tell me a lot. Like, I can take that and assume that we've got a school setting. We're either following elementary students or we're following high school students. I assume it's high school because I believe this book is YA. Or maybe the entire book takes place on a bus. Now, that would be interesting. Actually, I really like the sound of that. Like, imagine like an anthology situation with a bunch of short stories taking place on a school bus and you're exploring the story of everybody on the school bus. That would be interesting. Somebody should, like, put that together. I'm not gonna be the one to put it together, but, like, somebody should. I'd read that. Anyway, back to the book. I'm not the most intrigued by this opening line. It is striking. It's straight to the point. Like, it feels like a very mic drop first line. It's a bus. Boom. Mic dropped. That's all you're getting. That's all you need to know. This is definitely going into second place because it did not do much for me. Next up here, I have That Weekend, which I believe this is a thriller moment. It's a YA thriller. I've read a couple books by Kara Thomas. One that blew me away, Little Monsters. That book was everything to me when I read it. I remember actually being shocked by the reviews in it, and I went into it with a little bit of an attitude because I just, YA thrillers just give me the vibe that they're never gonna like come into my life and make noise, but Little Monsters came into my life and made noise. In fact, it came in, growled, and taught me a lesson. And to that I say, lesson learned. On the flip side though, I also read The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas, and that one was messy. Like, there were just so many moments in that where it just like was not believable in the slightest. It was bad. Anyway, That Weekend, opening line, let's crack into it. Come through, please. Deliver. Smash it. Give me a home run. Earth, cold and rocky, pressing against my cheek. Ooh, okay. Okay. It gives you information, but also withholds information. We can assume we've got a character on the ground, but we don't know why exactly they're on the ground. Did something bad happen to them? Are they just having a moment with Mother Nature, laying down on the ground and connecting with the earth? What's the tea? I'm intrigued. I will say, though, it's not coming for the crown. It's not going to go for first place. We are going to be putting it in second place, though. It's got the bus beat. Next up here, we have Shelter. This book has been on my TBR for a hot minute now. And it's one where I couldn't tell you what genre it is, and I also could not tell you what the book itself is about. That's how far removed I am from this book. I'm literally only going to be going off the first line. Let's see what it has to offer. The boy is standing in the doorway again. That was kind of a flop. I thought maybe it would really tell me something, but it told me next to nothing. I mean, I guess it did tell me a little something. We've got a boy standing in the doorway again, so apparently he frequents the doorway. Maybe the doorway itself is his shelter. I don't know, I think I'm reading into that a little too much. It's definitely not enough to have it climb the ranks, but I will say, it still beats the bus, okay? So this is now third in the lineup. Oh, hey, look, we recreated the title 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. It's amazing, isn't it? It's just really so amazing. Nice. Next up here, we've got Butterfly Yellow. This is another one where I feel like I'm completely in the dark with it. Like, I vaguely remember what it's about, but I more so remember, like, the mindset I was in when I bought this book. I remember when I bought it being like, I really feel like suffering. I'm in the mood for a solid suffer session. Would love to have a book make me cry. Would love to have a book whiplash my emotions. I want to be emo. Listen, there are times when you just really want a good book sob. I have not had a good book sob in a second, but I feel like this is one that could come in swinging with the emotions. What's the first line have to offer? On the bus? Not another bus! On the bus, Hong stares into the endless expanse. That was just the bus line, but elevated a little bit, which is why I will be placing it in fourth and ruining our recreation of the 4, 3, 2, 1 title. I'm super thankful to have Skillshare sponsoring today's video. If you don't know anything about Skillshare, let me fill you in. Skillshare is the largest online learning community. If you're someone who loves to learn, if you're someone who loves to create, if you're someone who loves to better your skills, it's the perfect place to take classes to learn and level up your skills. And it's also a place where creators can share their knowledge on a variety of topics. There are thousands of classes being led by industry professionals who can guide you in pushing your skills to the next level. They can help you in sharing their own knowledge in their specific field and offer up their own unique perspectives. They have so many different categories to choose from, which is my favorite thing about Skillshare. It's not just one thing, it's a variety of things. As someone who loves learning and growing, not in just one specific field, but in a variety of fields, Skillshare is perfect for me. Whether you're looking to tackle something new or you want to level up the skills that you currently have, Skillshare's got you covered. From animation to creative writing, film and video, fine art, graphic design, photography. That is just naming a few of the options that Skillshare brings to the table. Skillshare offers learning paths, which is something that I find really helpful. They are curated class collections in order to help you master a skill. It lays it out for you in a very accessible learning path that will have you knowing exactly where to start. Sometimes starting is the hardest part, but it leads you right to where you need to start. Along the way, you can chart your progress in order to stay motivated towards your goal, and it includes classes from a variety of teachers. The learning path that I am planning to tap into is creative essay writing, explore the personal and the powerful. I've become obsessed with video essays, and I've always kind of like toyed around with the idea of coming up with my own, but I, 1, lack the skill, and 2, lack the confidence. And I feel like following a learning path will really help me kind of better my skills, or lack thereof, and help me grow the confidence in order to create my own essays and maybe eventually, drop my own video essay. I'd love to make some progress in the writing department this year because it's been a minute since I've done some writing, and I need to dust off the insecurities, take one of the classes, and get motivated. If you're interested in joining me in honing new skills or bettering the skills that you already have, you can click the link down below in the description, and the first 500 people to sign up can get Skillshare for free for 1 month, which is actually insane. So be sure to take advantage of that deal and click the link down below in the description. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the opening lines. Next up here, we've got Vincent and Theo. I feel like you're able to kind of like catch the vibe of this book by the cover alone. If you can't catch the vibe, then that's on you. I've had this one for a minute and I've always wanted to read it, but I've just never like made it a priority. And I'm low-key hoping that the opening line just like does the dang thing for me and it makes me want to just like put it on the top of the list. That way I'm forced to read it. Let's see what happens here. Theo's brother Vincent has been living with him for just over a year and Theo cannot take it anymore. That is relatable content because I feel like I'd feel the same way about my own sibling. I love you, sister, if you're watching this, but also no thanks, sister. I actually do really like opening lines like this. Like it really just feels like it's throwing us in. Because sometimes openings can just feel like such a buffer, like they're more so focused on just being like captivating and attention snatching that it doesn't really get us right into the meat of the story. And like sometimes that's okay, sometimes that's nice, but sometimes I'm just like, just put me in, coach. Give me the meat, tell me what's going on, get your foot off the brake, let's go! I think I'd place this in the 3rd slot, so that's where it's gonna go. Next up here, we've got The Devil Makes 3. I received this in an Illumicrate box at some point, and I could not tell you what the vibe of this book is, but I will say, the title, it's already got my attention. Let's see what the opening line's like. Tess Matheson was one of the few people on campus who didn't think that Jessup English Library was haunted. Ooh, I love that. That is a top-notch opening line. Not only is it like already introducing our main character and like giving her a name, but it also piques your interest and also introduces a setting. So we've got the library. Is the library haunted? Or do we trust Tess's intuition when it comes to the library? Is it not actually haunted? Question mark, question mark, question mark. What a solid first line. And I'm gonna do something crazy right now. I'm gonna do something crazy. You can't stop me from doing this crazy thing. It's going to number 1, you guys. What can I say? It deserves it. It was a banger. Wow, the top rankings is very blue. Next up here, we've got Paris is a Party, Paris is a Ghost. Another book title that is just like fantastic and has me intrigued. Like, what do you mean Paris is a party? What do you mean Paris is a ghost? What's the opening line? Fumiko had locked herself in her room. More relatable content. I too find myself locking myself in my room often. I'm definitely intrigued. It doesn't give me too much to go off of. We know our main character's name, which is really nice, Fumiko, and we know that she has locked herself in her bedroom, but that's all we know. It doesn't give us too much intrigue or too much of a pull. I guess the pull could be like, why is Fumiko locked in her room? Like, that does have you asking that question, but I still just don't feel like it's that solid. So I think it's gonna go before The Two Buses. In 6th place on the rankings. Next up here, we've got Real World. I feel like this is the one that I remember the most out of all of the books so far. It's a thriller that takes place in Tokyo, and I believe this is a translated novel as well. Let's see what the opening line is. I'm penciling in my eyebrows when the smog alert siren starts blaring. Ooh, I like that. I feel like that has like the urgency for you to keep reading, because like you want to know what the siren is all about, why it's going off, and what's happening there. So I definitely like feel that pull. Definitely has my attention. I'm not sure where I would put it in the ranking though. I think I would put it in 4th place, honestly. We're keeping with the blue theme up top. And the last book that we will be judging is called Life. I remember picking up this book and buying it, but I do not remember anything about it, except for the fact that I believe it is a translated novel. So there's that. I do remember that aspect of it. Let's see what it has to offer. Let's see if it comes in swinging. On the 10th day of the 6th month of the lunar calendar, the evening sky was covered with a dense blanket of dark clouds, and the earth, usually lively and bustling at the height of summer, suddenly grew quiet. There's something about that line that both provides an element for me to like want to keep reading, but it also like calmed my soul a little bit. I can't explain it. It's one of those things that's like hard to fathom too, like the world going completely quiet. I'm pretty sure I would feel like the world is ending or something, because what does a quiet world look like? Scary, honestly, and yet I'm over here saying this line comforted me. I really love this opening line. I don't think that I love it enough to overtake the first slot, but is coming in 2nd. I'm happy with that. This is my final ranking. I'm gonna actually find out what The Devil Makes 3 is about now. Okay, I do remember this now. I do remember this description. It's about 2 kids who stumble upon an ancient book hidden underneath their library, and they basically like unleash the devil. And it's about them like getting themselves out of that chaos. So I'm excited to read this. I'm excited that this is going to be one of my next reads, because I'm currently in the middle of like 3 books. So I will be reading this though this month, and I will share my thoughts with you on this book within my February wrap up. Now I want you guys to rank these opening lines. So I'm going to put all the opening lines on the screen right here, and I'm going to number them and go through and rank them down below in the comments, and let me know all your thoughts. That is it for this video. That was my ranking of these books based solely on their opening lines. I had a lot of fun with this. I didn't realize how much fun this was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of like just a silly little video, but like I actually really enjoyed this. It was so much fun. Again, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to go and click on the link down below in the description and start your free trial for 1 month with Skillshare. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, y'all!